Like we're all dealing with, the benefits of maybe being at home with our families and what's going on in our lives, but we're also dealing with being at home with our families and what's going on in our lives.
Thank you for joining us, Eleana. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. That was an incredible conversation. I was literally like trying to unmute myself and chime in with Gary and Ryan right there.
I love that. Lane, it's great to see you. How have you been?
Great. How about you? Looking well?
Thank you. Thank you so much. You too. Talk to me about the insurance industry as a whole. What's the 411? I'm a little bit undereducated. I'm sure many are as well. What's the most interesting things that have happened during this pandemic? Increases, pivots? What's the punchline?
Yeah, it's hard to not talk about digital and insurance. I mean, I think people think of insurance as these really old line companies that are heavily, face to face. And certainly, what's happening in the world today, Ryan was just talking about how we're doing everything on the phone. And that's the pivot we're seeing from our customers. They are craving and demanding digital interaction because of the way we live our lives today. And so, for us at Guardian Direct, it's been such an interesting time. So for us, it's I would say less of a pivot and more of an acceleration of what we've been doing in terms of investing heavily in digital to consumer capabilities. So it's all paying off at this moment because we can really be there for our customers. So for us, it's about like, how do we go harder? How do we go faster to meet the needs of our customers? And they're showing up, which is really exciting.
What is Guardian Direct, just for everybody, just even taking a step back, just to educate the audience?
Yeah, Guardian Direct is, I would say, the digital manifestation of a 160-year-old company called Guardian Life, insurance for the people. And so what we are is we're bringing a kind of modern digital capabilities around buying insurance to our consumers. Today, we sell multiple products: dental, vision, accident, critical illness, and pet insurance. So think about us in terms of protecting your health and protecting, things that are important in your lives.
Love that. What about you as a professional? Like, just I'm enjoying a little bit of the origin stories that we're creating here. What kind of kid were you? Like studious, entrepreneurial, and what really like triggered off your career? How did it go about?
Yeah, absolutely. Interestingly enough, I think I was both. But growing up, probably much more studious because you're raised in an immigrant family that moved their whole family over here. So you can have a better life, you better get good grades. And I remember, thinking when I saw the rise of Paris Hilton that could have been me, because in fourth grade, I was charging people to line up to be my friend, and people were actually paying me, 50 cents, $1. And I said, wow, my life could have gone in such a different direction. But no, my mom found out, made me give all the money back, and of course, kept me on a good path in terms of education. So, I would say I was the kid that did all the right things, made all the right decisions. But I think that entrepreneurial kind of upstart was always in there. And now I think, as an adult, I get to marry, kind of both those passions together. And it's a lot of fun.
Talk to me about leading from home.
Yeah.
Tough, right? For some people, very, very tough. Mm-hmm. For some people, remarkably easy. And then everything in between. What stands out for you in how you've been leading, how you've seen others lead? What's your observations?
I think, the leadership piece is the same to me. It's just working harder to do it in a different way. Usually, we're in the office together. I can see people, I can reach out to them. I can see their mood. I can really feel it in the office. I can stop by, give them a pat on the shoulder. And now we're in this very virtual world. So you need to be much, much more purposeful in your interactions. And I think much more empathetic. Like we're all dealing with, the benefits of maybe being at home with our families and what's going on in our lives, but we're also dealing with being at home with our families and what's going on in our lives. So, there's no such thing as perfection in that controlled environment. People have kids that are like barging into meetings and trying to get tech support. That's happened to me multiple times. Like my iPad's not working, my Zoom, it crashed, you know, and I need to get back onto that class. We've got barking dogs. We've got, you know, fresh direct deliveries, you know, where you got to open the door. It's all happening, and people need to help their friends and their families and take time off. And I think, you know, just really understanding that the whole person has to come to work. And so creating that space a lot, that's why
do you think that's created much deeper connections? Because now all of a sudden, you know, Karen's got a cute dog, or you didn't know that Rick collected mugs and has 1,000 of them in the back. Like, do you think in a lot of ways, allowing people into their homes has created, I've heard some incredible anecdotal stories and actual stories of, like, you know, one employee said to me, Gary, you always talk about empathy. You know, my boss is a jerk, but, you know, honestly, I have a lot more compassion for him now that I've gotten a much deeper look under the hood of some of the challenges he's facing.
I totally agree with that. I think, you know, with us in particular, sometimes in corporate America, you don't realize how detached you become because you don't want to, you know, kind of get into people's lives too much. And I think this has sort of opened the door for so much of that. I know more about my team members than I ever have. And I do think that the support that we're giving each other during this tough time has brought us closer, has made us want to work harder together. And I think it's showing in the results. So in some ways, kind of a twisted environment, but has been really good for us.
I like that. So, you know, what I don't think a lot of people understand is you're one of the biggest DTC brands in the world. You know, people think of it, you know, more in makeup or food and things of that nature. What about platforms integration? Like, how do you think about standing something like that up?
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, we're looking down that barrel every day. I mean, in terms of platforms, you know, you need, as you know, to stand up a venture like this, some hardcore engineering, because the insurance products can be complicated. So it's not just front end, but it's being able to seamlessly deliver direct, instant product. And, you know, the industry has struggled with that. I'm really proud to say that, you know, if you're a Guardian Direct customer and you come online, you're buying that product and you're walking away with it in that moment. And that's a big, big shift for most of the players in our industry. And it's really exciting to be able to bring that to consumers. In terms of how we talk to our customers, also totally different. You know, we're a fully digital model, which means we don't have salespeople, we don't have brokers. We are out there, you know, on Google, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, you know, working to reach the customer and help educate them and help them, you know, understand like what they need to do to protect themselves and their health. So it's a really exciting time. You know, what we've seen lots of different shifts in terms of the platform. What we're really seeing is that one platform strategy is I think pretty much done. We're seeing customers, you know, taking more time on their journey to make decisions. And so we're needing to connect with them on multiple levels, on multiple platforms to get them comfortable, to help them understand the value before they make a decision.
What about you, the human? What's the biggest consumer shift that you've gone through during COVID over the last 100+ days, from media consumption to purchase behavior? What have you bought online that you've never bought before, and now you're like, oh, I'm not going to Dwayne Reed anymore. I'm buying shampoo like this, or anything.
Yeah, what haven't I bought online? So basically, you know, I'm locked down with my parents who are older and in a risk category. So essentially, we do nothing outside that we don't have to. So literally, I have bought everything I possibly could online, and I think you're seeing that across the industry, right, Gary? I mean, you're seeing digital, you know, adoption acceleration anywhere from 20 to 50% in different industries, and certainly insurance is not special to that. People are buying everything online. They're wanting to do everything online. In fact, I think some of the things that they're not doing online, they just can't. And so it's really up to us to really take that next step and bring it all there.
Anything really funny for you? Like any fun favorite new product you discovered?
Oh God, you know, it's funny because when you're in lockdown, you buy all sorts of things that you never do. So I have to say, like, I have more beauty products than I have ever purchased in my life. Most people who know me, really simple girl. You know, it's like moisturizer and sunscreen. That's it. I have literally, you know, I went out and bought a hair curler, which I never use. I mean, this is, you know, I'm really sharing now.
Yeah, let's sharing.
Yeah, exactly.
We're trying to double click. We're trying to go deep here.
But it's but I think that's, people are online literally 24/7. And they're on their phones. Totally agree with Ryan. It's fully mobile now. We're seeing this huge shift in our traffic. It's fully mobile, and so, you know, people are just seeing things and impulse buying, and so being out there when they're thinking at night or in the morning, it's so important. And there's an openness, I think, to consumption that's so different now.
And what about media consumption? Any new shows? Any new platforms? Did you download a new OTT? Are you consuming more podcasts?
I think I have literally watched everything on Netflix.
Like all of it?
Probably. You know, that's my.
Have you seen this? I saw yesterday. I watched for a few minutes. I'm going to really get into it. This whole, like, the mob versus New York, kind of like talking about the late 70s. Oh,
I need to go. I literally have binge watched. There's this Indian matchmaking show. I binge watched that.
Yes, I saw that come across. So, I didn't watch it, but it looks
so fun. I don't know. I'm on the, like, happiness theme because, you know, there's a lot of you know, kind of depressing news out there right now. So I've been watching, you know, kind of pick me ups, and I've been watching you know, the new season of Queer Eye. So it's lots of fun shows. You know, trying to lighten the mood a bit.
Well, listen, you were fun and informative. I appreciate you. Continued success. Thanks for closing off this great show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, talk to you soon.
Good to see you. Bye.